Hi, first and foremost, welcome. I'm Lawrence Miller. I've made a couple surveys and I posted them on the Facebook pages a while ago, but I got all my data, I put it into a PowerPoint, and so welcome to, and my computer's over on this side, so I'll be looking over on the, I can do it this way. So welcome to Even or Odd. It's a study of the alphabet. So let's get it going. All right, so let's talk about the data set. So I collected data from 500 respondents, ages. I'm just keeping it 100. I have absolutely no idea where they came from. I don't know how old is the oldest. I don't know how young is the youngest because I put it on the internet and I don't know where my people answered from because I didn't track that. Where did I get my people from? Well, I got them from Facebook because I posted them in all the USF Facebook groups. I got it from Snapchat because I posted it on my story. I got it from Instagram because I posted it in my bio. And then I got it on Reddit because I posted it to one of the subreddits over there. And why? Well, let's talk about it. So basically, a question had popped up into my head, and the question was as follows. Is the letter B even or odd? Like we always talk about how a number is even or odd, or what does that make it, and all that kind of stuff that makes math. But what about the letters? So was the letter B even or odd? Popped into my head one day because those kinds of questions sometimes do, and then I was like, okay, why are we just thinking about the letter B? Nobody's gonna want to fill out a survey saying yes or no. The letter B is even, so I made the entire alphabet. And I added some extra characters at the end of it. So instead of having 26 characters, A through Z, it's 37 because it's A through Z and then just some random things on the keyboard. So I'm sure you're wondering, who am I? Who am I? Well, I'm me. I'm Larry. So I've made other surveys. I don't know. You may have seen them. You may not have done them. It's okay. It doesn't really matter. They don't mean anything. So let's see. One of them was just a bunch of random things and finding out that Pittsburgh definitely does not belong in Djibouti because that was one of the places that people said it the most, that a city called Pittsburgh does not belong in Djibouti. A couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago, time is sort of meaningless ever since quarantine started, so I've just sort of been like vibing, I guess. And so I made a choose your own adventure in Google Forms, and that one was pretty cool. I may have done that one. That one took me like 3 or 4 hours to make because I couldn't think of the story. And then I just started like figuring out what I could do on Google Forms. Quite a lot, actually. I work places. I teach kids at Busch Gardens because I work in the zoo department, which is pretty cool. So I know a lot of really weird animal facts. I worked at the challenge course over at Riverfront Park, which is like a mile away from campus or something on Fletcher. The most recent job I got is I'm a business analyst over at Benchmark International, which is basically, it doesn't really matter. We sell companies. It's what it is. Again, I know animal facts, and then I'm an artist. I do photography. I dance a lot. I play many instruments, and I'm just out here. I like to make surveys because there's a lot of dumb questions, and people don't really think about how dumb questions are until they're out there on the internet. And so, I think the next slide is where we'll actually be going. So, let's talk about it. I'll try to make this brief because there's, 37 characters, and I don't want this to be 30,000 minutes long. Let's talk about the letter A. So, it was even, 62.2. Most likely, it was because it was a vowel. I heard a lot from people who were like, oh, I did this and this and this for this reason. Mainly it's either a vowel or that it's symmetrical, and that if you just split it, I have this. If you just cut it down the half this way, both halves would be even. And so, those two together would be even. When I did the survey myself, I did it based on whether the letter felt like it was finished. And so to me, like the letter A does not feel like it's a finished letter, like there's something more that should come after it. A couple of other letters I feel like that. So, or keep going. So the letter B, so it's Bevan with, 68.7%, which is pretty high. Most likely, because it's even, I did not do this right. It is currently 1:10 a.m. I am tired. I have to get up and go to work at 7:30 a.m. tomorrow, so I'm very tired. I'm sorry for any mistakes. And so I made this about an hour ago. it's symmetrical. Hence, you could cut it in half this way and you get 2 B's. And I got told that somebody said B isn't even, and I said, well, a lot of people said it is. Like, no, it's not. Only vowels are even, and this is only because it resembles an 8, which is an interesting way to think about it. Next, so the letter C, it's odd with 65.7, and really I don't get it because I think C is a very pretty letter. Maybe it's because like there's this like hole there maybe, and it's like a incomplete kind of thing, so it feels odd. Maybe it's because it's the 3rd letter of the alphabet. One of the things that I tried to do on the survey, if you didn't take the survey and you're watching this video for some reason, I switched up the order of the letters so that it wasn't A, B, C all the way down, because people think of letters as 1, 2, 3, and they'll do odd, even, odd. And I tried to make it so that you have to think about why, versus like, here's A is 1, so let me put that as odd. B is 2, so let me put that as even. And then we went from there. So maybe it's because people know their first 3 letters. I don't know. Ever since the quarantine started, I can't really think anymore. When I was actually typing in all the letters, I had to sing the alphabet song to myself 3 times, a whole 3 times, because I forgot what letters came next. And I'm graduating next year, so go USF, you know? Next, letter D. I'm sorry. I didn't want to have to put a not safe for work warning on it, and I wanted to be, family friendly, so I censored it. It's overwhelmingly even. It's one of the highest at 68.2% even. I think it's even because, it's a nice letter, it feels whole, it's symmetrical. Maybe because people use it as a smiley face, the whole pointer options. Pen, one of these bad boys, maybe one of these bad boys, good old XD, all that kind of stuff. Who knows? But anyways, it's overwhelmingly even. Next, E. It's even, 71.2%. There's no surprise there. It's pretty symmetrical. It's a pretty number. It's a pretty letter. It's a vowel. It pretty much fits everything for why people like to say stuff is even. The next one is the letter F. It was quite odd at 64.5%, and I agree. I don't agree with everything that the survey said, but I agree with this one because to me, F feels like it's wrong almost. There's no symmetry in it. It's like it's attempted to copy E, but it doesn't really feel right, and not the greatest letter. You could choose better letters. The next one is G. First to note is that this stupid thing took me 2 hours to make, and I have to do homework. I have an 8-page paper due for a class. I don't remember the class title anymore, but it was due at midnight tonight, tomorrow, whatever. But then, but whatever. It was odd, 55%. A lot of them tend to fall around that 50% plus or minus 10% because, I don't know, pretty interesting. And fun fact, as you can see here, I used to think that the Walt Disney G was Walt Disney D, the one that's starts Disney, the one that's weird. I used to think that was a G. So I was like, why is it called Walt Disney World when the first letter is a G? Why is it called that when the first letter is a G? And I never understood it until I decided to really look at the letter and found out it was a D. I was a changed man that day. It's always just blown my mind. Next, H. So this one's important if you've been paying attention to the pictures or you haven't. Well, this one, this character, her name's Helen Harris. She plays H. It's from this book that's my absolute favorite book of all time, hands down. It's called Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I actually found the book originally off of an Audible ad on a YouTuber's end credits where he's like, oh, this video is sponsored by Audible and stuff. And it's my by far favorite book of all time, and this is the main character's best friend. It's even 65%. It's very pretty. It's a very pretty letter, infinite lines of symmetry, meaning that you could cut it any way you cut it as long as your line goes through the center. You'll have 2 perfect halves. The movie was horrible. It was one of the least faithful book-to-movie renditions I've ever seen. The only thing that I think is going to be probably worse is the new Artemis Fowl movie that's coming out, because the Artemis Fowl movie is an atrocity on many levels, because you can tell that they don't think that they're going to have a sequel, which is stupid. But yeah, Ready Player One, fantastic book, fantastic audiobook, horrible movie if you like the book. Next, I. Well, I. Anyways, so I don't even know if it hit the camera or not, whatever. So it was even. It's expected because it's a 59%. It's a vowel, it's pretty strong. It's a strong letter to name your kid. Like if you name your kid Ian or Andrew or Isabel or E E Ivan. They could, if they decide they don't like it, they could just become a pirate. Pirates are cool, Buck go Bucks, yeah. They could become a pirate and then make them sell whenever they say something. Their fellow pirates, their lesser pirates, have to go like I, Captain. So change their last name to Captain, first name to I, Captain. Next. If you're colorblind, this one's not for you. I'm sorry, but I'll describe it for the people who are colorblind or color deaf. That is the letter J. The color of the J is blue. It's a blue J. You want to know who else is a blue J? Mordecai. Mordecai from Regular Show. You want to know what Mordecai is? He's a simp. And just like that, J is also a simp. So it was odd at 66.3%. It's a simp. I tried to think about it. I spent 10 minutes on this slide alone just trying to find reasons to back up my points. I couldn't. I didn't really care that much to try. So I didn't really have any good points. It's not really symmetrical at all. It doesn't have many practical uses. As the last point says, if your name starts with a J, I'm sorry. That's pretty much all I gotta say. I'm sorry. Unless your last name is Cole or Lopez, like J. Cole or Jennifer Lopez, if your name's not that, I'm sorry, but next, the letter K. This stupid picture made me giggle. But anyways, it's odd at 68.4%. Odd, which I think is surprising because I think that K is pretty round, and I think if J is odd, then both A and K should both be odd because they're all the same bloodline. If A's grandma, J is next, and then K is their kid or something. It's a Chad to Jay's simpery. It's only, I would say that only because Kim Possible existed, but not Kim Possible the new Disney Channel original movie that came out, a year ago? 2 years ago? I have no idea what time is anymore. But J, K, yeah, I'm just going to skip that. I don't even remember anymore. Anyways, next, letter L. So it was almost 50-50. It actually was pretty much 50-50 except for one vote. It was 251 but to 249 votes, and it was even. Oh, it's so good. My name is Larry, by the way. Every good thing starts with L, like Larry. We got things like love and laughter. You got money, starts with an L. It's just silent. Lil Nas X, La Nicki Minaj, that one Vine that's God tier. There's a reason why some types of people have live, laugh, love signs on their walls, on the J's. Bro, I don't remember doing this slide, actually. But it's fine. Yeah, so, cool. Let's keep going. Next, M. Worst by far, the worst letter to look up on Google. Every time I added an M, it got worse because it started out with pretty letters of M's. Then it got to 2 M's, and then got at 3 M's. I got A. There was apparently a scam from Nigeria, or a scam that was on Nigerians to Nigeria, I guess. 4 M's was just starts to get the not safe for work stuff with boobs and stuff and that kind of things. And then it got worse and worse as you kept adding M's. This was 6 M's. No. It was more M's than that. 10 M's? 10 M's. It was very even, 72.5%. I would agree that it has a very nice line of symmetry down the middle. Yeah. This one, N. It's very, very close. It was pretty much the same thing as L, where it was just one person who voted for even made it even versus it being a 50-50. And this one's very important. Some people don't understand this, but if you ever hear somebody talking about like how Karen is the new slur, or calling somebody okay boomer is like a slur or something, like if you're comparing that stuff to the N-word, there's a reason that people aren't afraid to call somebody Karen or talk about how Karen is the new N-word, but they're not going to say the N-word is the new N-word because you don't say the N-word, you know? Just keep it real. Just know what you got to do. Know what you can say and what you can't say. It's all good and there's all love, you know? Next one. Ooh. Very nice show. I love Adventure Time. This is the map of the land of Ooh. It's very even at 71. It's round boy. You've got infinite lines of symmetry unless you like draw stuff like I do. Because if I try to draw a perfect circle right now, we're going to get about boop. Oh my god. Well, that was actually quite worse than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to try this one more time. That's not the right one. Ooh, that's better. I can live with that. Anyways, so unless your handwriting is as trash as mine is, it's going to have pretty much infinite lines of symmetry, which is always pretty cool to have. If you whisper it into your vents at night, you can pretend you're a ghost. If the vents whisper it back and you live alone, you probably have a ghost. Or somebody who's homeless who's living with you. Hopefully not. Let's keep going. Next one. P. It was odd at 56.3%. It's 1/4 of the letters necessary to make the word butterfly, or not make the word butterfly, to make a butterfly. Girls don't do this. And here's what this second point right here means. So here's Microsoft Paint. Can I change the size of the brush? This will work. So first thing we do, the first letter of the alphabet's a B. Wow, that is such a good crayon. First letter of the alphabet's a B. The fourth letter of the alphabet's a D. I'm going to draw like this because they're drawing with a crayon. The 16th letter of the alphabet is a P. Whoop. I wanted it here. And then the 17th letter of the alphabet's a Q. So these four letters all together, they make a really cute butterfly. And then you got to just draw some O's, some O, O, O. Draw a D in there somewhere. An O, a little heart if you're cute. An O. Why did that not connect? Boop. Boop. There it goes. But you see, it's a butterfly from BDPQ. And now you've learned something, and that's always fun. Anyways, well, screw it. We're going to keep going. So as it doesn't need to be said, but in case the fellas don't already know, girls don't do this, keep going. Next, this is a Q. If you didn't know, pool cues. I thought it was pretty cool, but now if you go into Beef O'Brady's with the Chick-fil-A and the MSC, you now know. So it's very odd at 76.3. I personally think that people just have a vendetta against it because it's literally just a mixture of O and I. No matter how you draw a Q. If you draw a Q like this way it does a Q, where you have the line coming out and laying flat, which is a really weird way to do it, or if you do it like pointer options, pen, if we do something like this, where it's going down diagonal, or if you do something like this, it's just an O and a I. And both of those letters are very even, and as we already know, two evens don't make an odd. So I don't know what's going on, but I just think that people just don't like it for some reason. And I think that there's some hate against Q that we need to talk about. This one. So I was looking at, like, after M, I started typing in multiple letters to try to find pictures to fit my things. And then I typed in R, and then I was looking for, like, oh, I know what's funny. RAR means I love you in dinosaurs for all of us emos out there. And then I typed in RAR directly after the four R's, and this pillow showed up. Like, this pillow was the third thing that showed up, and I absolutely hate it because I'm pretty sure if we look down, pointer options, laser pointer, look down here, I think that may be a dinosaur, which means this was made by somebody, and because it's in this setting, I'm pretty sure somebody bought this and took a picture and posted it to the internet, which I cannot believe. But yeah, don't buy that pillow. But yeah, it was odd at 56.7%. This one, this is yes, it was even, 59.5%. It did take me 2 tries because I did the 3 lines, you know, as you make the cool S. And then my first lines were from the center point to this one, which is wrong because that's not how an S looks like. So I finished the S and it's like, that's wrong. And so I just did the whole thing and it's turned out pretty sick. Yeah. Next. Next one's T. It was even, 52.6%. Yeah. Next one is the letter U. Fun fact. This color green and this color green are the same color green. Pretty cool. It was even. It was 61.8, but I personally disagree with the survey and 61.8% of people, because if Q is odd, then U must be odd, because U is the root of Q, and it doesn't make sense. You can't say Q without saying U, and there absolutely must be justice, because U should be odd. There's nothing good about it. Next. V got put as odd. This was just, I posted this because I typed in V and the only thing that showed up was BTS, which is cool for the fan cammers on Twitter, I guess, or people who like their music. If you like it, cool. Vibe on. I don't understand, though, why V is odd. Why V is odd at 56%. That doesn't make sense, because V is such a pretty color. It's such a pretty letter. Like, U and V should switch, because V it's so pretty, it's so nice and neat. It's basically B with a little bit of spice added to it. Yeah, I disagree with quite a few of the people as we keep going, as we see W's. It was even at 53.6%. I understand that, but that doesn't make sense, because if V is odd, why is W even? That one ain't making it. You gotta make it make sense, you know? Next one, X. Fun fact, this is my car. Here is my person. You can see my thing. I don't know why I took these pictures. I don't remember taking these pictures, but I took them sometime in quarantine. And then, yeah, the letter X. It was odd at 53.8%. The people are wrong on this one, because if a picture like this can exist, and look at how lovely this X is, how can it be odd? It's so even. And then, of course, you gotta have Behold, not Where the Red Fern Grows, very sad book. To Kill a Mockingbird, that's where it is. A person is smart, people are dumb, and the survey is wrong. Because if 500 people tried to say that X is wrong, or 250, 60-something people said that X is odd, 260 people are wrong, and because the survey doesn't mean anything, I'd like to keep the survey open just to get enough people to say that X is even, so that I can, have peace in my life again. Next, Y. It's odd. I don't agree. Y is a vowel, basically. So why isn't it even? Because every other vowel is even, but why is Y odd? I don't understand it. Next one, Z. It's odd. I can accept this one. That one makes sense. It's Z. It's the final letter. Cool. I'll accept it. At the end of the day, it's odd. Cool. Next thing. Here's a list of the punctuation rules or the punctuation that I put, the other 11 characters. We see top to bottom, we have the period was even, 55%. Exclamation point, odd, 51. Question mark, odd, 65. The slashes, the forward and backslash, were odd together. The arrows were odd at 51%. The at sign was even at 52%. I'm so tired. The dollar sign is odd at 52.6, which doesn't make sense. I mean, like, but if you ain't speaking money, I guess it is pretty odd. The plus sign, and it pretty interesting. The plus sign and the equal sign were pretty universally chosen as even. Like the equal sign had 83.6. The plus sign and the equal sign were even at 83.6%. So it's just like I can understand that positive even, yeah. This one was because when I was shit. Anyways, pointer options. Fuck. Pointer options, pen. When I was making the PowerPoint, if you type in like a minus sign and then click space, it tries to like autocorrect it to being like, hey, this dude must be trying to like make a list. No, I was already in a bulleted list. I don't want to make another list. The multiplication sign was, you know what? I don't remember, but that's an easy fix. So if we just go to this, you can actually see, here's my final document of, you can ignore all this, final document of everything. Wow. That completely failed the way I wanted to do it. So basically, when this was all cool and pretty and stuff, I had some conditional formatting that had even is blue and then odd is red, but apparently I deleted the even being blue, so now it's just a bunch of even and then red. Huh, well that's lame. Whatever. And then, so here's the final totals for everything. And then multiplication, multiple sign. This one down. It was odd. There it goes. So the multiple sign, as you can hear, my voice is giving out in it. Bro, I'm ready to sleep. But yeah. So multiplication sign. It is odd. So let's talk about some overall. What I noticed, some weird things was there was a couple of people who I didn't just scramble up the way that the letters were replaced so that people wouldn't think of them as numbers. I also scrambled up the order of even or odd, so you actually had to like look and read each thing to say, is this even or is this odd? Because I guess you could just go down the list and click the first one, I guess, but if you really want to make everything odd, it would be pretty hard. But somebody basically did it, because they did 35 out of 37 characters were odd, which is weird. I disagree with them, because I have no idea to know. Actually, yes, I do. Aha. I say I have no idea how to know this one. It's this one. So this is the person who did 37 of them were odd. So the equal sign was even. And is it this one? There it goes. It's this one. So the equal sign was even, and the letter O is even. So I don't know what they are on about, but I can't say they're wrong because I agree with both of their choices that both of those are even. Then another thing that was interesting was that somebody did pretty much like the opposite, but for evens. They had 31 of them were 31 even, and then only 6 were odd. The odd ones being multiplication sign. This one? Yeah, this one. Multiplication sign, the period, and obviously 4 others. But, I don't really care that much. The most common way for people to rank the alphabet were 18 characters odd and 19 even, which I think is actually pretty interesting because that's roughly 50-50. And if even numbers are 50% of all numbers, I think that's pretty cool. That people sort of, I don't want to say instinctively, but it feels like half the roughly half the alphabet and some extra characters are even, and the other half is odd. And that's was 77 out of 500 surveys that I got. I ended up, I think my final total now is, I can look. Nope, that's the wrong one. Final total of surveys taken, there's more, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like 515 or something. 519. Cool. I had it on my other screen. Nifty. So out of 519 surveys, 18 were 18 odd, 19 even. So it's roughly half. And then out of all the surveys, and so that was roughly 18,000 characters, a little bit more because there was also the people who who I didn't add in and stuff. So at 37 characters a pop and per survey, and there was 500 surveys given, that's 18,500 characters that were characterized as either odd. 48.3 per two. My ability to speak has been failing me this entire time. I walked into the laundry room to say hi to my mom one day, and then she asked me to go to the store, and the only thing that came out of my mouth was "bah." And why was it "bah"? I don't know. I think I was trying, but like I had set a whole sentence in my brain in preparation to answer her question, and then it was just "bah." Whew. Anyways, so 48.32% of all the surveys were, so that means out of the alphabet, 5 out of 500 people saying what the alphabet is, a little bit more. 48% of the characters in the alphabet are even. 51% are, we'll just round it up, 52% of the characters are odd, which I think is pretty cool. Next part, because this took me forever. Conclusions. I think it was pretty nifty. I'll probably do something stupid soon, but I haven't thought of any questions, and I don't want to overflood the market with dumb surveys. But yeah, if you do a thing such as go on your iPhone or your Android or whatever, and then just literally just scan this code, takes you to a website, and then, I don't know if you can read this, you probably can't read this. Actually, you may be able to. But yeah, you'll be able to see all my little links and my socials and stuff. And if you click a button, it takes you to it. And I think it's pretty nifty. And if you want to, feel free. If you have any like random thoughts about why things were qualified that you think is interesting, hit me up. If you have things that you think are cool, I also do every once in a while on the USF Bulls marketplace. I do free creative services because I'm bored and I don't want to say I don't need the money because, you know, money sucks right now, but I'm bored more than anything and I can do creative things. So if you ever want free creative services, just hit me up, you know? Yeah, so this has been going on for 33 minutes. Good God. If you can watch it all the way this far, congratulations. You're more dedicated than I am because I tuned out 3 times. Yeah. All right. As always, go Bulls.